As we get older, it's natural to notice some changes in our body. Maybe your arms don't feel as strong as they used to. Maybe getting up from a chair takes a little more effort. Or maybe your clothes start to feel a little looser around your legs, even though your weight hasn't changed much. Many people over 60 notice these small signs and think, well, I'm just getting older. That's how it is. But what if I told you that one of the biggest reasons for these changes isn't just age, it's muscle loss? And more importantly, what if I told you that we can slow it down, or even prevent it, by simply changing how much protein we eat every day? Hi there. If you're over 60 and care about staying strong, independent, and active, you're in the right place. In this video, we'll talk about how much protein older adults really need, why it's more than you might think, and how getting it right can help you keep your muscles and your quality of life. And if that sounds important to you, or someone you love, feel free to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who want to stay healthy as they age. Your support helps more people get the right information. Now let's take a step back and talk about why muscle loss happens in the first place. After age 30, most people slowly begin to lose muscle. But after 60, that process speeds up. In fact, experts say we can lose between 1 to 3% of our muscle mass every year after that age, especially if we're not eating or moving the right way. This condition is called sarcopenia, a fancy word that simply means age-related muscle loss. It's more common than you might think. And while it's natural, that doesn't mean we're helpless to fight it. Losing muscle doesn't just make us weaker. It also affects balance, walking, posture, and even how fast we recover from illness. It increases the risk of falls. It can even shorten your life. Now, here's something important that surprised me when I first learned it. Just eating 3 meals a day doesn't mean you're getting enough protein to protect your muscles. In fact, many older adults eat the same way they did when they were younger, or even less. But the truth is, as we age, our bodies become less efficient at using protein. That means we actually need more, not less, to maintain the same amount of muscle. This is one of those facts that isn't talked about enough. We often hear about calcium for bones, or fiber for digestion. But protein, for muscle health in seniors, is just as important. Maybe even more so. I remember talking to a neighbor of mine, a retired school teacher. She said she was always tired, her arms were getting smaller, and she thought it was just old age. When we looked at her meals, she was only getting about 40 grams of protein a day, far below what her body actually needed. Once she made a few changes, she felt stronger within just a few weeks. So the real question becomes, how much protein do we really need as we get older? We'll answer that in the next part of the video. And don't worry, it's not about eating steak every day or drinking shakes all the time. It's about balance, the right kinds of food, and simple changes that can make a big difference. Stay with me. So now that we know muscle loss is real, and that it becomes more serious after 60, the next question is, how much protein do we actually need each day to help protect our muscles? For many years, the official guideline has been 0.8 grams of protein for every kilogram of body weight. That number is still used today on many nutrition labels and websites. But here's the truth, for people over 60, that number is too low. You see, the 0.8 grams per kilogram rule was designed to prevent deficiency, not to support optimal health, and definitely not to maintain muscle in older adults. As we age, our muscles become less responsive to the effects of protein. This means we need more protein just to get the same results as when we were younger. It's a concept called anabolic resistance. Simply put, our body becomes a little less efficient at turning protein into muscle, so we have to give it more fuel to do the job. So how much do seniors really need? According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition and other leading research, most older adults should aim for 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight each day. That's around 0.55 to 0.68 grams per pound of body weight. Let's make that easier to understand with a real-life example. If you weigh 150 pounds, which is about 68 kilograms, you should aim for around 82 to 102 grams of protein per day. And if you weigh more or less, you can do the same math. Multiply your weight in pounds by 0.6 or 0.7, and that gives you a good daily target. To some people, that might sound like a lot. But when we break it down into meals, it's actually very manageable. You don't need to eat a huge steak or drink a protein shake 3 times a day. You just need to spread your protein across your meals and choose the right kinds of foods. Most experts suggest aiming for 25 to 35 grams of protein per meal, especially at breakfast and lunch. That's because most people eat very little protein in the morning, but that's exactly when your body needs it the most. And here's something personal. I used to skip breakfast or just have toast and coffee. But once I started eating a real breakfast with eggs or Greek yogurt and a bit of fruit, I noticed I had more energy and didn't feel so weak by the afternoon. I didn't think it was protein that made the difference, but now I do. Science backs that up, too. Studies have shown that when older adults evenly distribute protein throughout the day, they build more muscle and maintain strength better than those who eat most of their protein at dinner only. One study from the University of Texas found that people who ate 30 grams of protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner built 25% more muscle than those who ate the same amount but loaded it all at the end of the day. So timing matters. And consistency matters too. But one of the biggest challenges for older adults is not just eating enough protein, but doing it every day, even when they don't feel very hungry. As we age, our appetite often decreases, but our need for nutrients increases. That's why planning and simple habits can make all the difference. In the next part, we'll look at which types of protein are best for seniors, especially those that are easy to digest, budget-friendly, and rich in the key nutrients your muscles need to stay strong. Stick with me, we're just getting to the good part. Now that we understand how much protein we need, the next question is just as important. Where should that protein come from? Because not all protein is created equal, especially when it comes to building and protecting muscle in older adults. Let's start with the basics. There are 2 main types of protein, animal-based and plant-based. Both can be part of a healthy diet, but some are more effective than others when it comes to preserving muscle. Animal-based proteins, like eggs, dairy, fish, chicken, and lean beef, are considered complete proteins. That means they contain all the essential amino acids your body needs to build muscle. They also tend to be more bioavailable, which simply means your body can absorb and use them more easily. One amino acid in particular is especially important for older adults. It's called leucine. Leucine is like the spark plug that tells your body, hey, it's time to build muscle now. Without enough leucine, even if you eat a lot of protein, your muscles might not respond the way you want. So where do you get leucine? The highest sources include whey protein, found in some dairy products or protein powders, eggs, chicken breast, fish, like salmon and tuna, Greek yogurt. For example, a serving of Greek yogurt can give you around 20 grams of protein and a solid dose of leucine in a small, easy-to-digest meal. But what if you don't eat meat or dairy? No problem, plant-based proteins can work too. You just have to be a little more intentional. Good sources of plant protein include lentils, chickpeas, tofu and tempeh, quinoa, soy milk or soy products, peas and pea protein powder. Now, plant proteins usually have less leucine, and they're sometimes missing a few amino acids. But you can still meet your needs by combining different plant proteins throughout the day, for example, beans and rice, or tofu with whole grains. A good tip, whether you're eating animal or plant protein, focus on variety. Mix it up. That way, you're more likely to get all the amino acids your muscles need. Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine in his 70s was doing everything right. He exercised daily, avoided junk food, and stayed active. But he was still losing muscle. Turns out, almost all his protein was coming from bread, cereal, and peanut butter. Once he started adding eggs in the morning and fish at lunch, his energy improved and he started rebuilding strength. This brings us to another key point, digestion. As we age, some people find that they don't digest heavy foods as well as before. That's why it helps to focus on easy-to-digest protein options. Here are a few that work well for many seniors. Eggs, soft, gentle on the stomach, high in leucine. Greek yogurt, high in protein, probiotic, easy to eat. Fish, light, nutritious, and packed with omega-3s, which also help reduce inflammation. Cottage cheese, soft, low in fat, and rich in casein protein, which digests slowly and supports overnight muscle recovery. Protein shakes or powders, especially whey or pea protein, can be a great way to boost your intake when appetite is low. The key is to make it easy on yourself. You don't need fancy meals. A slice of whole grain toast with peanut butter and a boiled egg can be a perfect breakfast. A bowl of lentil soup with a handful of shredded chicken makes a great lunch. A small portion of salmon with steamed vegetables and quinoa can make a light but powerful dinner. It's not about eating more, it's about eating smart. In the next section, we'll talk about how to fit protein into your day without feeling overwhelmed, and how to turn it into a simple daily routine that supports your muscles for years to come. You're doing great, stay with me. Now that we've talked about how much protein you need and where to get it, let's talk about something that matters just as much. How do you actually fit this into your daily life, every single day, in a way that feels natural and not overwhelming? Because let's face it, knowing what to do is one thing. Doing it consistently is another. Many people over 60 tell me the same thing. I don't have the appetite I used to. I get full quickly. Sometimes I just don't feel like eating much. And that's completely understandable. Appetite can naturally decrease with age. But muscle doesn't care about that. Your muscles still need the fuel to stay strong. The good news is, you don't need to force yourself to eat huge meals or complicated recipes. In fact, the secret is to keep it simple and steady. Here's one approach I've seen work for many older adults. Start your day with protein. Breakfast sets the tone for the rest of the day. If you begin with a solid protein source, it's much easier to reach your daily goal. Instead of just toast or cereal, try scrambled eggs with spinach. Greek yogurt with berries. A protein smoothie with banana, peanut butter, and a scoop of protein powder. Cottage cheese with fruit and a few nuts. Even small changes add up. 2 eggs already give you 12 to 14 grams of protein. Add a glass of milk or a slice of whole grain toast with almond butter, and you're well on your way. Then, at lunch and dinner, think about your plate in terms of balance. Choose a protein, chicken, fish, tofu, beans. Add some fiber-rich carbs, sweet potato, brown rice, quinoa. Include vegetables for vitamins and minerals. Again, nothing fancy. A tuna sandwich with tomato slices and a bowl of soup is excellent. So is grilled chicken with vegetables and a baked potato. Or lentils with rice and sautéed greens. If you tend to eat light meals, consider adding small protein-rich snacks throughout the day. A boiled egg in the afternoon. A handful of almonds or walnuts. A slice of cheese or string cheese. Half a protein bar. A cup of soy milk or regular milk before bed. These small additions can quietly raise your total protein intake without making you feel stuffed. And if you ever have a day where cooking feels like too much, keep some backup options on hand. Frozen pre-cooked chicken strips, canned salmon or tuna, a tub of Greek yogurt, or a shelf-stable protein shake can save the day when you need something quick and nourishing. Now, here's a personal opinion from me. Habits work best when they feel easy, flexible, and part of your routine, not like a chore. So, if you drink coffee every morning, you can train yourself to eat a protein snack at the same time. If you watch TV in the afternoon, pair that time with a healthy bite of something high in protein. If you take medications with meals, plan your protein around those moments. Let your current lifestyle guide your choices, not fight against them. Another helpful tip is to track your protein for just a few days. You don't have to do it forever. Use a small notebook or a simple app to note what you eat. You might be surprised by how much, or how little, protein you're getting. Once you see the patterns, you'll find it easier to adjust without guessing. And don't forget to stay hydrated. When you eat more protein, your body needs more water to process it well. Keep a glass of water or herbal tea nearby throughout the day. It helps with digestion, energy, and overall well-being. Finally, don't let perfection get in the way. If you miss a day, or don't hit your target perfectly, that's okay. What matters most is the overall pattern. Are you giving your body enough of what it needs most of the time? If yes, then you're on the right track. In the final part of this video, we'll recap what we've learned, look at the biggest mistakes to avoid, and talk about why building and keeping muscle after 6-0 may be one of the most powerful things you can do for your health. Let's wrap it up together. So, now that we've talked about the how much, the what kind, and the how to fit it into daily life, let's take a moment to step back and look at the bigger picture. After age 60, losing some muscle is common, but it's not inevitable. You still have so much power over your health. What you eat, how you move, and how you care for your body, these choices matter more than ever. Protein is not just about building biceps or looking younger. It's about walking upstairs without pain, getting out of bed without stiffness, carrying your groceries, gardening, dancing, hugging your grandchildren. It's about living on your own terms. If you take just one thing from this video, let it be this. Every meal is an opportunity to protect your strength. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You just need small, steady steps. Choose Greek yogurt over sugary snacks. Add a few eggs to your breakfast. Keep canned beans or tuna in your pantry. Say yes to that handful of nuts when you need a snack. And drink your water, always. Your future self will thank you. Now, let's touch on a few common mistakes that many people make, even when they're trying their best. One mistake is thinking, I had a big steak for dinner, so I'm good for the day. But remember, your body doesn't store protein like it does fat. It's better to spread your intake out across the day, with at least 25 to 30 grams per meal if you can. That's what research suggests works best for muscle maintenance. Another mistake is avoiding protein because of kidney concerns. Unless you've been diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, moderate to high protein intake is generally safe, even protective, for older adults. In fact, many recent studies are reversing older assumptions about protein and kidney health. And finally, don't rely only on protein powders. They can be helpful, especially when appetite is low or convenience is key. But real food first, that's always the best foundation. You might be wondering, is it too late for me? And the answer is, no. It's never too late. Even people in their 70s, 80s, or 90s can build strength, improve balance, and regain independence with the right fuel and habits. Your body is always responding to what you give it. You just need to start where you are and keep going. I'll share something personal here. A close friend of mine, in her early 70s, started adding a little more protein to her meals and walking just 20 minutes a day. In 3 months, she told me she had more energy, could lift her grandbaby without strain, and felt more like herself again. That's the power of small changes done with consistency. So, if you found this video helpful, please click like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you care about. Maybe a friend, a sibling, or even your doctor might benefit from this message. And if you have a question or your own story about eating for strength, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. You've made it to the end, and that means you care. You're investing in your health. And that is something worth celebrating. Let's age with strength, with clarity, with kindness toward ourselves. Thanks for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.